Steven McBee Jr. is so incredibly blessed to have the support from fans of the McBee dynasty, real American cowboys. Because of this, the head of the McBee Farm and Cattle Company has some exciting things in the works for the future of the farm and its visitors. Steven Jr. shared with B&B via email in August how people will be able to get a taste of farm life in the future. We're working on making this farm a tourist destination with on-site farm visits, cabin stays, and tours, where we can give back to those that have helped us save it through supporting us, and give everyone that wants the chance to come live the simple life on the farm, even just if for a couple of days, he said in the exclusive interview. We've got some big plans in the near future, so stay tuned for what we have in store, he added. Where is the McBee family farm located? McBee Farm and Cattle is located in Gallatin, Missouri. The small farm town is located about 70 miles northeast of Kansas City and about 270 miles northwest of St. Louis, according to USA Insider. Steven McBee Jr. reveals which celebrities are planning to visit the McBee farm. Viewers aren't the only ones who will be able to visit the McBee family farm. Steven Jr. told The Daily Dish that several Bravo celebrities have reached out to him in hopes of paying a visit to their Gallatin ranch. Everyone from different shows: Tamra Judge, Brittany Cartwright, Kristen Doubt, her fiancé, Luke Broderick, they've all reached out, he said. They all want to come to the farm, which I think is really, really neat. So we've got plans for them to come out, visit the farm, hang out with us. It's been really fun getting to join such a big family like Bravo. Steven McBee Jr. shares his end goal for the McBee family farm. Steven Jr. was open about the tough times that he and his family faced on the farm during the McBee dynasty, Real American Cowboy Season 2. But during Season 2, Episode 10, he revealed that he was optimistic about the future of the farm. There's a lot of tough times ahead, he explained during a confessional. My end goal is to make sure that this farm is here, not only for our kids, but our kids' kids. The summer sun hung high over the vast, golden plains of Gallatin, Missouri, casting its light on the rolling hills and weathered barns of McBee Farm and Cattle. Wind whispered through the cornfields, and the scent of fresh hay and warm earth filled the air like a memory passed down through generations. Steven McBee Jr., tall and broad-shouldered with the eyes of someone who'd seen both hope and hardship, stood at the edge of his family's land. His boots were caked in dirt, but his heart was light. This farm, which had once teetered on the edge of foreclosure, was now alive again, not just with cattle and crops, but with laughter, stories, and the footsteps of new dreamers. It had started with a television show, The McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys. People had watched, fascinated, as the McBees struggled, fought, cried, and celebrated. But they hadn't just been entertained, they believed. Donations, merchandise sales, letters from strangers poured in. One fan even mailed an old locket with a note. My grandfather lost his farm in 1932. I couldn't save his, but I hope this helps save yours. And it had. Steven walked toward the barn where a new sign was being installed. Legacy Fields, a McBee family experience. This is going to change everything, he said to himself, pushing open the barn doors. Inside, his younger brother Cole was arguing with the event planner. No way we're serving quinoa at a cowboy breakfast, Cole snapped. Steven laughed. Relax, Cole. Let the city folks have their trendy grains, as long as we serve Mom's biscuits too. Cole smirked, rubbing a smudge of oil from his hand onto his jeans. All right, but no tofu chili. That was the charm of the McBee Farm's new future. It wasn't about becoming something else. It was about inviting the world in without losing who they were. Guests would stay in log cabins, milk cows at dawn, ride horses under stars, and maybe, just maybe, understand what it meant to be part of something bigger than themselves. Later that week, Steven was cleaning out the attic of the old farmhouse when he found an old trunk. Dusty and locked. Inside, he discovered his grandfather's journals, written in a rough scrawl full of notes about the land, the weather, the cattle, and something else. "There's a story in the soil," one page read. "Buried under this land is not just our past, but our future." Steven sat down on the wooden floor, journal open in his lap. For a moment, the air felt different, thick with meaning. What if this farm was more than just a farm? What if it was a portal, a place where time bent, where stories lived on, not just in memory, but in matter? The first weekend the farm opened to tourists, there was a mix of excitement and nerves. Cabins were fully booked, the hayrides were scheduled, and a surprising lineup of Bravo celebrities were flying in. Tamra Judge, Brittany Cartwright, Kristen Dout, and her fiancé Luke Broderick. The cameras followed them, of course, but what none of them expected was how the land would affect them. "I thought this would be, like, cute and Instagrammable," Kristen confessed after an evening campfire. "But this place, it's real. You feel it in your chest." Tamara, who was famously unshakable, found herself tearing up during a sunrise ride across the north pasture. "I remembered my dad," she whispered. "He always wanted land like this. It feels like he's here." Steven didn't pry. He didn't need to. The farm was doing what it had always done, healing, connecting, grounding. But not everything was smooth. 3 weeks into the launch, a mysterious visitor arrived, an older man with silver hair and boots too clean. He introduced himself as Harlan Kane, a representative from a development firm out of Chicago. "I'm here to make an offer," he said, slipping a black folder onto Steven's desk. $30 million. We'll turn the back 40 into luxury eco-lodges. Keep the cattle for aesthetic. You'll still be the face, but let's modernize, expand, monetize." Steven didn't touch the folder. "This land isn't for sale," he said, calm but firm. Kane's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Everyone has a price." Steven stood. "Ours is legacy. You can't buy that." Kane's warning as he left was quiet but sharp. "Legacy doesn't pay property taxes, son." That night, Steven couldn't sleep. The wind howled like it used to in the hard winters. He returned to his grandfather's journals, flipping through pages until he found one marked in red. "When the suits come, remember the story of the blood tree." He'd never heard of it before. No one had. The next morning, guided by the cryptic note and a growing curiosity, Steven set out with Cole and Kristen, who had insisted on tagging along, despite wearing suede boots, to search the back 40. They found it near the edge of the woods, a gnarled ancient oak, its bark stained a deep rust red, as if it had blood through time. Buried beneath it, wrapped in oiled cloth and tin, they uncovered another journal. Not his grandfather's, but his great-great-grandfather's. In it was a story. During the Civil War, the McBee land had been a haven for escaped slaves, a stop along a hidden route. The blood tree had been a marker, and many had carved their names into its bark in the dead of night. The farm's roots were soaked in not just hard work, but sacrifice, courage, freedom. "This tree," Steven said quietly, tracing the initials on the bark, "is the legacy." Kristen took a photo, not for Instagram, but for the local historical society. Months passed. The tourist business grew, but so did something else. Visitors didn't just come to relax. They came to learn. School groups toured the Blood Tree Grove. Veterans held retreats at legacy fields. The cabins added small libraries stocked with farm history, and every night, Steven read from the old journals to whoever wanted to listen. "We almost lost this place," he'd say, "but now it belongs to all of us." Even Harlan Kane returned, this time not with a contract, but with his granddaughter, a quiet girl who wrote poems in a yellow notebook. One evening, as the sun set behind the silos and turned the sky a deep, brilliant orange, Steven stood once again on the hill overlooking the farm. The distant laughter of kids at the barn echoed like music. The cows lowed. Wind rustled through wheat. Cole walked up beside him. Do you ever think about what Grandpa would say if he saw all this? Stephen smiled, heartful. Yeah, I think he'd say we found the story in the soil. Epilogue, the invitation. A letter now sits on every guest's pillow when they arrive at McBee Farm. Dear friend, welcome to our land. It's old, stubborn, kind, and full of stories. While you're here, let it teach you something about patience, about dirt, about family. And if you leave a little different than you came, well, that's just the McBee magic. Yours in legacy, Steven McBee Jr.